there is a poem, if, only 2 letters in the first block. But that poem gives you much vision, a great lessons to follow in the path, in the journey of life. Now you are youngsters, but later you are going to face the difficulties, the problems of life. Now you are under the parental protection, societal protection, and the shade in which you are living happily. But later in your life, there would be problems you have to face. And how to face those problems? If a crisis arises in your life, how to confront that and solve it so easily. So as youngsters, the poet is giving you some advice, some pieces of advice that will give you strength and confidence to live a harmonious life. Even if these 2 letters are there, and the power, the depth of the poem is enlightening your mind. Okay, normally a poem appreciation is a must for every question papers for public examination. It is a 100% sure question. You take a poem and compare this poem with the poem given in your textbook. And that poem to compare will be there in the question paper. And these are recurring question every year that you can never avoid this question. So if is a very important lesson in your first year textbook. So let us go to the appreciation of this poem, If. Kipling's If perhaps is the most popular anthem which attracted immediate attention from the public. A didactic and poignant one, inextricably linked with every man's life. Rudyard Kipling is the poet, and his poem If, perhaps, sometimes, is the most popular anthem and the national anthem, you know. And this was in his country, it was a popular anthem which attracted, and this poem attracted, charmed, immediate attention, a sudden response from the public, from the people. Why? It is a didactic poem. Didactic poem means a poem that gives you some lessons, some advice. And poignant one. Poignant means the heart touching. This poem touches your heart. And the poem inextricably linked with everyone's life and the ideas, the pieces of gems that included in this poem is always unavoidably, inevitably linked with your everyday life. The essential attributes a man must nurture to be a perfect man is deeply discussed in this poem. The essential, unavoidable, important, vital attributes, qualities a man must acquire, nurture, mold in his personality to be a perfect, complete man. And those points are deeply discussed in this poem. If you try to imbibe these traits and values, if you are trying hard to absorb these traits, these features, these values, these characters into your personality, you would be indomitable, undefeatable, invincible, especially in a world where disharmony and brutality prevail. And in the present scenario, you are quite familiar with brutality, cruelty, and disharmony. Disintegration is prevailing, ruling over the world, where there is every chance for a person to go astray, to go in wrong ways. And these paternal pieces of advice taste sour now and sweet later. This is a paternal advice, an advice given by a father to his son. Okay, and that is the text of the poem, and that is why it is called the didactic poem. Okay, so these parental pieces of advice, an advice is given by a parent, and it may taste sour at first, just like gooseberries. It may taste sour now, but it may be sweeter and sometimes sweetest later. Okay, second paragraph. The first stanza highlights the urgency of acquiring self-esteem, honesty, patience in our life. These are the qualities you have to acquire in your life. It is very urgent because self-esteem, self-confidence, self-realization, these are all important. How you are and what are the qualities in you and for what are the jobs you are fit to, and you should be a bit aware of it. And honesty, and when I took the lesson Gandhi, you know the importance of honesty, truthfulness, integrity in your life. If you are not honesty, no one will value you. You will be considered as a mere waste. And patience in our life. Patience. You should be patient enough to fight the realities of life. And at the same time, you should be courageous enough. These qualities keep you going smooth and confident. If these qualities are there inherent in you, your life will go smooth and you will be confident. The poet again exhorts us, calls for, he tells us not to be merely dreamy. There are people, there are students, they will have great dreams, but they will never move a single finger to materialize it, to fulfill those dreams. Don't have just dreams, but try to follow those dreams. Try to run after those dreams, withstanding all the stumbling blocks that you are going to face in your life. But rouse into action as well. Don't just dream, but rouse into action. Come into action to realize those dreams. Triumph and disasters are two imposters always chasing you. Triumph and disaster. Triumph means success. Disaster means failure. Success and failure, these two are two imposters who may deceive you at any moment. So try to be very vigilant. If you are successful, that doesn't mean you will be successful always, and it may deceive you. And if you failed once, that doesn't mean that you will be a failure forever in your lives. These two are cheating you sometimes, always chasing you, following you. These two imposters are following you. Don't be complacent. Complacent means don't be satisfied. Don't feel okay when you are successful. Don't be dejected. Don't be disappointed. Don't be dispirited when you fail in your attempt to do something. Okay, the triumph and failure may be influencing you to take you forward sometimes or to take you backward. And they are neither substantial nor everlasting. This success is not substantial and it is not everlasting. That means if you fail now, it is a stepping stone to the success. And if you are successful now, you may fail at any moment.